Hi, I'm Jeremy, and I'm your host of Tell Me Wine TV, where we try to answer your questions about wine right here on the internet. And it's not a question, but people I've heard 100 times over have said the following. Um, I probably couldn't tell the difference between a good wine and a bad wine, or a good wine and a great wine. And I say to these people, you're crazy. You will absolutely tell the difference. And I'm not saying this just to try to get people to try more expensive wines or spend more money on wine. But it's worth a couple of extra bucks when you can to buy and try more expensive wines. And I'll give you a quick example of how an important bottle of wine or important glass of wine can change you or have an impact. And I've talked about how I used to be a sommelier at a famous restaurant, and one of the things they were known for was the wine pairing. They have these little chef's tasting and wine pairing, and there was a nice young couple in there, and I was engaging them, and I think it may have been my last night working before I had my daughter. And I brought in a special bottle, which I'll get to later. And I was going through the whole ritual with them about how this tastes blah, 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 blah. It's all a bottle of hooey, and they were enjoying it. And I went to open my bottle, which was a bottle of 1970 Mouton Rothschild with the nice Marc Chagall label. And I said, you know what, kids, being the old guy that I am, I said, I want you to have some of this. I want you to have some of this wine because I think you'll enjoy it. And I poured them a couple of ounces and I put it in a nice big glass and I placed it on their table and they smelled it and they sipped it, and the response to me was, don't bring us any more wine. We're going to stick with this. My gift to them. And they said, we want to enjoy this for what it is. And it was an extraordinary wine. It's extraordinary wine, and I was lucky to have it, and I guess they were lucky to try it too. But there's absolutely a difference between it. And the other quick analogy I use is something that's very popular right now, which is hamburgers. As the analogy is that people are putting more and more effort into making really fine hamburgers in restaurants today, which can cost upwards of $50. And why do they cost $50? Is because the ingredients that are being put into them, the thought process, the cooking method, everything is more expensive and requires more time. And right now in New York, there's this whole secret ground beef thing going on where everybody has their own secret blend. But the fact is, you have a good bottle of wine and a great bottle of wine, supposedly. And it's all about the love and the attention and the quality that goes into it. And so here are two bottles of Pinot Noir. One is a solid example from New Zealand, correct, from New Zealand, Haka Vineyards, and it's about $20. And the other is from a fairly well-known village called Gevrey-Chambertin in Burgundy. And these are very different wines, well, they're from different parts of the world. But let's see if they smell and taste different. So, yeah, Burgundy is Burgundy. But the price, $20.60. So, Gevrey-Chambertin is an important village. This producer, Fatien, I don't know offhand. But again, the quality of the grapes that are going to this wine are going to be much different than the quality of the grapes that go into the $20 bottle of wine. And let's just see if they're in fact different. So they're the same vintage, New Zealand, this is for our producer. They have the same vintage, but New Zealand does have a half a year head start on the 2006 from Burgundy. glass is a little dirty, sorry. So anyway, so let's do this. There you go. So first the Haka. The colors are virtually identical. Virtually identical. But the Haka, it's showing classic Pinot Noir fruit for me, which is a slight earthiness combined with berries. Not totally expressive, but a nice wine. A nice wine. It's what Pinot Noir should be to me. It's fairly light to medium body. It's got some acidity there, probably because of its youth, but showing this strawberry and slight earthiness. Pretty wine. Pretty wine. Will I write my mother about it? I don't think so offhand. But I would say that this is a very good $20 bottle of wine. It's nice. I think most people would enjoy this wine. Now the Gevrey Chambertin. So again, this is a important village in Burgundy. I think the expression for Gevrey Chambertin is, it's like a fist in a silk glove. So powerful, powerful wine with subtle nuances. Here I'm getting a lot more on the nose. Kind of deeper. I mean, this is hard for you because you're not smelling the wine, but a deeper, more complex. Getting the sun in my eyes too. But I'm getting tar, kind of black currant. The earthiness is much more reserved here, which I'm a little surprised about. The mouthfeel is totally different. Remember, same grape, different regions, I understand. But wine, Pinot Noir is much less land available, so everything's going to be more expensive, and the value of the land is more expensive. But I am tasting a lot more on the palate than the $20 bottle. Let me just try to extract some of my thoughts. It's hard to describe, and that's something, unfortunately, for Burgundy. It's so complex. The nuances are so subtle, and this is what people love about Burgundy. It's a beguiling wine. And I'm just going back to the Haka, which now almost seems a little muted on the nose. You know, there's a lot of stuff springing out of this glass that I like a lot. And some of them I'm getting actually like a bazooka bubblegum kind of a thing too. But fruit, the earthiness, a little bit of dark fruit, you know, where this is kind of in strawberries, lighter berries. This is more intense. Black currant, cherry, a little bit of mint, and perhaps a touch of milk chocolate. Actually, it's like one of those chocolate covered cherries that you get at Zahadi's in Brooklyn. I don't know if you've ever had one of those.